Today's story starts here in Newcastle, capital of the North East, and home to one of the country's biggest football teams, Newcastle United. But we're not starting the story at Newcastle United. We're starting it with a local youth team called Josh's Giants, and we're going to be talking about two young lads. One's called Henry Jekyll, the other Edward Hyde. Now these two boys were part of a championship winning youth side, but unlike most teams, the championship wasn't won by scoring goals, it was won from the back, and these two boys played a major part in that because they were both centre halves. Now even though they played amazing together on the pitch and won trophy and medal after trophy and medal, these two lads couldn't be any more different. Now not only did they play for the same football team, they went to the same school and they absolutely hated each other. And it all started when Henry Jekyll's girlfriend decided she liked the bad boy and she dumped him and started going out with Edward Hyde. Not only that, the boys went to the same judo class where Edward would always beat Henry every single time. But with the talent these two lads had, especially at defending, it wasn't long before Rafa Benitez and his scouts heard about the young boys, went to speak to Mike Ashley and made sure they got both lads to sign on the dotted line. First to sign was Henry Jekyll, a die-hard Newcastle fan. He was a player that had all the skill in the world, a ball-playing defender who could pass and had a lot of technique. Next to sign was Edward Hyde. He was the complete opposite. He was old school, he was tough, aggressive, and he absolutely loved to do crunching tackles. In training, straight away both boys shone, and both boys, you could tell, were going to be first team starters. Even though they couldn't stand the sight of each other when they were on the pitch together, these two lads were amazing. They played in unison from the back brilliantly. And at Newcastle, everyone liked to give out nicknames, and it wasn't long before both boys got a nickname. First up, it was Henry Jekyll. Everyone called him the Doctor because he was just clinical in the tackle. He could slide in with absolute precision. Next to get a nickname was Edward, and everyone basically just called him Mr. Hyde because the guy was an absolute psychopath. You didn't want to mess with him, so if you ever met him, just call him Mr. And in 2018, both boys were promoted to the first team. Both boys were going to be starting at 17 years old for the team they loved and supported in the Premier League. Could these two boys still have great careers even though they'd be playing together, even though they hated each other? They had the same potential. They just have different styles, different mentalities. Who would go on to have the greatest career? Well, we're going to find out today, because this is the story of Jekyll and Hyde. Hello, I'm Bood and welcome to Jekyll and Hyde, another story-based experiment on the channel. They seem to be really popular. I like putting them together. I like doing experiments, but like I've said before, I get quite bored with them, but doing a bit of a story to them makes them fun, and the majority of you are enjoying them. The majority, 99.9% of you. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. If you're brand new to my channel, thanks for subscribing. You're an absolute legend. Hopefully you're watching all my content, and hopefully you're going to stay subscribed. If you're already a subscriber, you know what? You're a legend. I love you. Right. Today's experiment is basically something I wanted to try out for a while. Now we're going to be using two players. We're not having strikers, trying something different, but we've got two players who are going to be based on the same player. So they started off the same, and then I've gone into the editor and I've just changed a couple of things. So one's aggressive, one's not. One's a tough old school tackler, one's more of a ball player. So the majority of them, they're exactly the same player. They've just got these little changes, especially with the mentals as well. So say Henry Jekyll, he's the good guy. He's more reserved, he's a very professional player. But then you switch over to Edward Hyde, he's outspoken, he's confrontational, he's short-tempered. Do you know what I mean? So I want to see if these different things will affect the career, because they've both got maximum potential. No -10, they both should or could become the world-class defenders. Like world-class. But is their mentals going to affect their talent and their career? We're going to find out in today's episode. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Hopefully you're going to smash the like button, help support me, the episode, the channel. And let's get into it. And we're going to start here at Newcastle. Now, I know someone was saying to me, why didn't you do, I've one at Newcastle, one at Sunderland. This is no offence to Sunderland, but I want them both to be at a massive club in the Premier League that never really wins anything. Newcastle is huge, great club, loads of fans, great fans, just don't win stuff. So I want them to stay. I want them to start at the same level ground. If you put one at Sunderland, they'd be 2 divisions down. It's not an equal starting point. So I want them to be here, and they're in Newcastle. So they might stay here. They're only 17. They're going to be nearly turning 18 in September. But I want to see if can they make Newcastle great? How long can Newcastle keep hold of him? Will Newcastle want to keep hold of Hyde if he's confrontational, and see where they go and see what kind of careers they're going to have? Are they going to both play for England? Are they going to win loads of trophies? I'm excited to find out because again, I don't know. I just holiday and jump in at different save points. So we're going to start off with a good guy, Henry Jekyll. A couple of people have said, "Oh, you make these guys too good." I just base them on real people. I find a 17, 18-year-old Wonderkid a real player on the game, and I just duplicate him, change his name, his nationality to suit the story, and that's it. And then I might tweak the odd attribute. So I've not done anything outrageous. There's a real player out there pretty much the same as this at the same age. So that's how I do it. So yeah, here's Henry Jekyll. Now, like I said, they're both starting off with the same frame, and then I just tweaked a few things, and they've kind of turned out pretty different. It's pretty cool, really. So this guy's a promising centre back at the minute. He's only worth 30.5 grand, which is nonsense. He's on 10 grand a week. He's got a 4-year contract. Now you can see already he's a good tackler. He's got a good technique for his age. He's got good first touch. He's fit. He concentrates as well. His all-round game's pretty good. Because I wanted to try and design him to be like a ball-playing defender. If we check his history, you'll see he's Newcastle, born and bred Geordie. He's been here for a few years now, and he played in the under-18s league. Last year he was in the under-21s league, and this year he's been promoted to the first team. Going to his information page, and the first thing I'm going to talk about is his agent. I want him to have good agents, but I'm lazy. So all these universes, every time I make a new story, I'm just adding on top of my old stories. Think of it like the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's BOODFM universe. BFMU. That's what it is. So I've just given Adam Rusko from the last episode. Was it? Yeah. He's their agent. Don't need to look at him. You'll see his favourite personnel is Rafa. Now his disliked personnel is Edward Hyde. They hate each other. Absolutely hate each other. I don't know if that's going to affect him. But he's had enough of him. I think he'd be quite happy when he don't have to play on the same team as him or even know him anymore. But the minute they do play together. Now, Henry is a centre-half who likes to play on the left, and I made Edward a centre-half who likes to play on the right. So they're perfect for each other. One's left-footed, one's right-footed. They're perfect. They just don't like each other. But you'll see here, he's a promising centre-back. His personality is professional. He's a Newcastle supporter. And he's very reserved. Just keeps himself to himself and does his talking on the pitch. Here we are with Edward Hyde. Bit of a bully. Grown up, always beating up poor old little Henry. And they now found themselves on the same team. Now he's a very promising centre-half as well. It says powerful centre-back, but he has got maxed out potential, like to the max. So he has it could become brilliant, just as brilliant. They both could become brilliant. But you'll see I've tweaked him a bit different. I've made him more aggressive, brave, don't concentrate as much, but he can tackle better. He can head the ball better, and he's stronger. But he hasn't got the technique or the first touch. Do you know what I mean? He's old school. He's a proper centre-half, which is great, but, different. He likes to mark opponents tightly, argues with officials, dives into tackles, whereas Henry doesn't dive in. He's more chilled out, So it's going to be interesting to see, does this matter? Do you know what I mean? If a player has maxed out potential, they're going to have great careers no matter what. Or can mentals and the way a player is and thinks really affect him as a player? It might help you decide. If you see a psychopath, you might think, yeah, he's great, but not worth it. You know what I mean? Or he could be absolutely brilliant. We don't know. He could be England captain. Couldn't he? Looking at his information, you'll see powerful centre-back, iron-willed. Like I said, everyone calls him Mr. Hyde. Don't mess with him, Newcastle fan as well. Outspoken, short-tempered, and confrontational. Loves the manager because the manager signed him. Eh? Can't wait to see what happens. Now, obviously, they're going to be starting the career in the Premier League with Newcastle, who are predicted to be around mid-table. So it'd be nice if they can keep hold of these two lads, because if they do, I'm sure they could build from the back and be a great team. It all depends. They keep Rafa and these two lads, but no offence to Newcastle, I've got a feeling they'll probably leave. Where they're going to leave, I don't know. We're going to find out. So let's jump in the old time machine. Jump out 5 years into the future. Let's see what's going on. Well, here we are now, and the boys are 22, and as predicted, Henry's left Newcastle and is now signed for Arsenal. And we'll have a look how much in a bit, but he's definitely improved as a player. His all-round game's gone up. His tackling, his technique, I mean, he is an elite centre-back at 22 years old, but look at him already. He has rapidly improved, hasn't he? A lot. So, yeah, he's really good. He's on 220 grand a week. He's got 4 years on his deal, I think. And looks like he's won something with England as well, which is brilliant. Got caps. Got 47 caps already. 2 goals. Wow. So he played 123 times for Newcastle and he's already played 149 times for Arsenal. And if you look down there, some of his attributes for England, I think it is, are outstanding. So, yeah, he has turned into a great centre-half. Quick look at his information. Already he's got favoured personnel. Ancelotti, so I'm guessing he was Arsenal manager. Gareth Southgate, I'm guessing he was England manager, so they've been replaced. Good to see what happened to Rafa as well. And obviously he's a Newcastle supporter, but already he's loving the Arsenal. Absolutely loving the Arsenal. It'd be cool if he could, no offence, but go abroad. I'd like to see him go to Real Madrid or Barca. Competition-wise, it looks like he's not doing so well with Arsenal at the minute. He's lost the Carabao Cup and the Community Shield. Under 21s England, they lost the under 21 Championship runners-up. But with the full England side, they won the Nations League, which is great. Made his debut in 2019 with Chile. Now again, like I've said, I think I said it in the last one, when you look at the awards and they do well, they get a lot, don't they? They get Player of the Week, and if you look, it's like insane. Look at all that. Do you know what I mean? So I think we'll wait till the end, like we did last time, and see what kind of major awards they get at the end. Over to his rival, the psychopath, Edward Hyde, and he's still at Newcastle. Now he's improved, but not in his technicals, because he's not a technical player. He's an hardcore old school defender, but still a good defender. Still got good tackling, good marking. His mentals are good, even though he's aggressive. He's still brave and he's got good physicals. He's super strong, man. But you'll notice as well, they're the same kind of height, build and all that. So it's just technical versus hardcore, old school. But he hasn't got that big move. He's worth 14 million. He's on 60 grand a week. Has he not got the move because of his mentals? Because he's not technical, even though he's a good defender still, I'm guessing. You know, does that really make a difference? It's looking like maybe it does. A quick look at his information and you'll see he's just Rafa's mate, innit? A former manager, so Rafa's gone. He's good on this game now. He's a bbig, powerful centre-back. Has he done anything special yet? When it comes to competitions, he has won the UEFA Under-19 Championship. He's played for Under-19s, Under-20s, Under-21s. But if you noticed, he hasn't played for England yet. So he's played all the way through the youth system, but he can't get an England team yet. He's still young. He's a good defender. But all round, he's looking... Basically, it does say if you can find a centre-half who's more technical and chilled out, the better. I mean, even with his attributes, if he was chilled out, would he be better? You know, is it his mentals that's doing this? That's making him just that one step behind Henry Jekyll. And he's at Newcastle still, obviously, and he's got Steve Bruce as his manager. And these are the odds for the up-and-coming Premier League season. Arsenal are up there. They're always going to be up there, but they need to start winning, so I want him to start winning big trophies. Maybe he'll leave Arsenal to chase a big trophy. But I made him loyal. I think I made Henry Jekyll loyal because he's a nice guy, and Edward Hyde unloyal because he's a bit of a prick in real life. But Newcastle still 11th, still mid-table. We've now jumped another 5 years into the future. The lads are 27, about to turn 28, and at their absolute peak. And you'll see here we're with Henry Jekyll, and he's still at Arsenal. I still don't think he's won anything, to be fair, by the looks of it, career milestones. But he's loyal. He's sticking with Arsenal. They're a massive team. He's on a massive wage. He's worth 65 million. He's got 3 years left on that deal. £250,000 a week. £1 million a month. And as a centre-half, he's not only amazing, but he's technically gifted. He is a very special player. His player traits now, he likes to stop play, avoids using his weaker foot. He doesn't dive into tackles. He likes to switch balls to the flank. So that's definitely changed. Because he used to like to bring the ball out. Don't do that anymore. On to his information page, you'll notice his reputation is now a 4-star. He loves the Arsenal still. He's got all these, he likes to Allegri. He's a former manager as well. A few big time managers coming to Arsenal and failed. But look at that, 112 caps, 6 goals. And when it comes to winners' medals, he's still losing. Lost the Champions League 2 years ago. Lost the FA Cup the same year. Lost the FA Cup this year before that. Just come third at a World Cup. So he's definitely got more runners-up medals than winners' medals because he's only got one winners' medal. That was with England winning the Nations League. So his trophy cabinet could be better, especially for a defender of his ability. Over to Edward Hyde, and he's finally left Newcastle. He's made that move to Everton, who in real life they're probably about the same kind of club. Massive historical teams. Everton have probably won more trophies. Great team, Everton. So my family are Everton fans, so I've always had as a Man United fan, I'm not the biggest Liverpool fan, but I do like Everton. I used to go quite a lot as a kid because my uncle would just take me. So they're like one of my second teams, do you know what I mean? So I do quite like him, and he's at Everton now, and he's worth 24.5 million. He's still only on about 60 grand a week, and I think he's definitely improved. He's peaking, although he still doesn't play for England. He's got no caps for England, and I think he's great on paper. I'd be like, I'm happy with him. He's just aggressive. I mean, he likes to argue with officials. At the end, I'm going to tally up how many red cards he gets compared to the other guys, see if that's made a difference in this games through being a psychopath. But if I look there at his career milestones, he was relegated with Bournemouth. So he didn't leave Newcastle to go to Everton. He's played for Bournemouth. He's only just signed for Everton. Interesting. If we look at his playing history, it looks like he signed for Bournemouth, didn't really play, got relegated, played, came back up, played the entire season. They got relegated and he's just jumped ship for 20 million to Everton. So hopefully his career can start kicking on properly now. And again, if we look at his milestones, he's now got a relegation on his CV, which is never good because it's bright red. But hopefully he can help Everton win a trophy. Now that I've never done this before, but because they're rivals and not brothers, I thought we'd have a comparison, especially at this point because they're at the peak. This is when they're at their absolute best. So let's have a look. We've got Henry Jekyll on the left and Edward Hyde on the right, and I think it's pretty obvious that Henry's turned out better. Now, is that because he's a ball-playing defender, the technique, or is it because he's mentals and he's a good lad, great teammate, great sportsman? Because I made him a great sportsman. Edward Hyde isn't a great sportsman. I gave Henry a great temperament. Edward's got a bad one, and he's controversial. All these things have maybe affected him, but when you look at his physicals, I mean, Henry, I didn't make him strong. He's ended up stronger, more agile. Do you know what I mean? His mentals have ended up better. His technicals are out of this world compared to his. So, I mean, he's definitely improved. They're both still the same size, although Henry has put on a ton of weight as well. So he's just been a more model professional, hasn't he? And he's having a better career, and he's turned himself. Maybe that concentrated into becoming a great footballer himself, whereas Edwards, you can imagine Edward likes to go out on the day, you know what I mean? Comes into work, does some crunching tackles, goes on. And again, seeing as they're both still in the Premier League, let's have a quick look at the odds of where their teams are at. Arsenal are 5th, so they're not a title winning side, even though they've got this guy at the back. I think if he ever wants to win a Premier League or so on, I think he's going to have to leave in the next year, couple of years. He's going to have to. Everton aren't far behind, so this is probably Edward Hyde's best chance of maybe nicking it and winning a trophy, because he could not be the better player on paper, but who's to say he won't win more trophies? We've still got loads to find out about, haven't we? So let's find out. We've jumped forward another 5 years. The lads are now 32, about to turn 33, so they passed the peak on that slippery slope to retirement. Henry Jekyll is the most loyalist dude ever, and I think on paper he hasn't changed. I think he looks exactly the same as he did when he was 27, and he's still at Arsenal. He has been an absolute legend for them. I bet he's an icon. He will be when he retires, because he's given them his entire career, and at 32, nearly 33, he's still nearly worth 55 million. Model professionals, improved his game. Shows you, I think, mentality of a player is massive. I'll be honest with you, I've played this game a lot. You might know I have, but I don't always think about that. I don't always look at aggression and the temperament, but maybe I need to start. Maybe I could be an even better player of the game if I start to maybe take more notes and pay more attention to a player's mentality. I know people do, I'm just not. Maybe I'm missing a trick here, because look at what he became. I think it's brilliant. The other thing that's maybe not brilliant is his trophies, especially the trophies he's accumulated at Arsenal. Obviously, he was losing loads. Lost the Champions League last time we looked, which is there. And if we go straight up, he's won a Carabao Cup, so he's won a League Cup. Right, great. Won the Nations League again with England. 3rd place in the Confederations Cup. Oh, he's won a World Cup. Right, fair play. Like the ultimate trophy. England have won the World Cup in 2030 again. They won the World Cup in 2030 in the last one. Cain and Abel, that video. Is this game predicting that England's going to win the World Cup in 2030? I doubt it. Will we heck? But we always do in here. Win the Nations League again, so he's been super successful with England. Just at Arsenal. Like, a League Cup, and that's it. For the career he's had at Arsenal. It's not good. Quick look at his playing stats, and I mean, look, every year he puts in over 30 games a season. It looks like he's never really been injured. Looks after his body. Gives you a cracking average rating. I mean, a few years ago in 2026, he had an 8 average rating one season. The rest have been outstanding. The guy's a beast. And I've scrolled through every year. Never had a red card. Here we are with Edward Hyde. He's no longer at Everton. 5 years have passed. And he's now at Aston Villa. It looks like he only had a season at Everton, to be fair, I think. Unless he got an injury, we'll have a look in a minute. And again, I don't think he's got any worse. I think he's still a great defender. It's just his head. He's a mental case, and I think it's really affected his career. He's only worth 10 million. Never really earned more than 60 grand a week. Although, don't get me wrong, I'd love that. You know what I mean? It takes me 2 years to earn 60 grand. So, yeah, he's still a good player, but definitely psychopaths. Avoid him. Although, he's just won the FA Cup. He's just won the FA Cup this year with Aston Villa. So, alright, comparing them trophy-wise, Henry's won with his internationals because Edward Hyde still hasn't played for England. You think he'd have one cap. He hasn't played for England. But when you look domestically, if you said domestically, what would you want to win at the end of your career? If you could only have one, a Carabao Cup medal or an FA Cup medal, you'd want the FA Cup medal. So at least he's got something back, hasn't he? It's just, yeah, when you've won a World Cup and everything else for England, got no hope, have you? So last time we looked, he'd just signed for Everton, hadn't he? So he looked like he didn't really get in their team a lot. He's come from Bournemouth where he did, just. Unless he was injured, but look at his average ratings. He never gets you over a 7. And look at that there. Look at red cards there. I've been counting them up. I'm not going to tell you the total to the very end. But holy crap. No wonder he doesn't always play. I can tell you that much anyway. So, yeah, he had a couple of years at Everton. He's left Everton, gone to Villa. Played a bit there for maybe the end of the year. And then at least he's playing sort of fully seasons. And with time fast running out, I don't know if anyone's ever going to win a Champions League or a Premier League. I don't. Arsenal's still like the 5th. Only won the freaking Carabao Cup, haven't they? And now he's at Aston Villa and they're one of the worst teams in the league. I looked, they only just survived relegation last year. Check out who won the league. Spurs. Brilliant. Dominated it. United came second. Guess what else United came second in? The FA Cup final. Aston Villa beat United 3-0. A team that nearly won the league got beat by Villa and nearly got relegated. But look at that. Villa played brilliantly. United played crap. It'd be great if Hyde had scored, but he had a great game. Played brilliant. A quick look at Arsenal's general page, and Henry Jekyll is definitely an icon. I think he should be a legend. He should make it to the legends list by the end of his career, surely. The boys are on the slippery slope to doom. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back at the end of the career when both lads have retired. One retires before the other, so we'll come back the day, I think it is, after the last one retires. And we'll do a few comparisons and have a look what happened at the end. Here we are, it's 2038 and Henry Jekyll has finally retired at 37 after a long career at Arsenal. He never left the Arsenal. He now wants to be a manager. Not a very good one, but we'll be interested to see what happened to him, although probably will never check. But yeah, he had a great career. Here we are in his biography, and you can have a read of that. Pause it if you want, have a look at the detail of it. Now, he did win a lot, mainly for England. Never really won anything for Arsenal again. I think it was only the Carabao Cup, pretty sure of that, to be fair. But he won a lot of awards. Champions League Defender of the Season 4 times, Footballer's Writer of the Year 5 times, Player of the Year, Best FIFA Men's Player, Europa League Player, FIFA Confederations Golden Ball. The guy won a lot of awards and had a great career. It's just a shame he was so loyal staying at Arsenal. If he'd have left and gone somewhere else, because I bet he had the opportunity to. City or something, he would have won titles, but fair play to him for being loyal and staying with Arsenal. And I think it shows you, check the mentals, man. If you can find someone who's not aggressive, who's very professional, reserved, he'll just get on with his job. It'll probably be easier to improve him as a player. You've seen this guy put on weight, he got stronger, he got better, and he was an absolute world-class player and a World Cup winner. So, He only ever played for 2 clubs. He scored 31 goals in his career. He won 216 caps for England. Wow. Never got a red card ever in the history of ever. Never. No red cards. Crazy. Won 8 trophies in total and won 18 awards. Here we are with Mr. Hyde, and to be fair, he had a good career. He retired 2 years ago. I mean, I'd love his career. It's just not as good as the other fellas, you know? And I think it shows you, if you find someone who's aggressive and confrontational, probably just give him a swerve, even if they look good on paper, because on paper he's a great defender, but I think it's his mentals that affected his career, and the amount of red cards he got, which I'll talk about in a minute. But he didn't finish his career at Villa. He went abroad, which is pretty cool, and went to play in Portugal for a couple of years, and didn't win anything. But, you know, it is what it is. He won an FA Cup, and I think that's pretty bloody good. I think that's really good, to be fair. Anyway, he played for 5 clubs. Scored 8 goals over his entire career at all those clubs, right? Never got a cap for England. I'm going to save the best one for last. Won 2 trophies, one at under 19 for England and the FA Cup. Never won any awards, ever. Not a single award was ever won by this lad. And in his entire career, he got 58 red cards. 58 red cards. So all them times he was only playing here and there is because he was freaking suspended. 58! Wow, I bet you he's freaking ended careers, this kid, with tackles. I bet he broke legs and noses and necks and faces. The guy was a mental case. So there we go, that is the end of Jekyll and Hyde. Hopefully you enjoyed it enough to smash the like button and subscribe if you've not subscribed already. Brilliant, thanks for taking time out your day to watch it. I had fun making it. It's something I wanted to look into for a while. Like I said in the video, I've not always paid too much attention to mentals, but this has really taught me a lesson. And I've played this game for a long time, 20 odd years, and maybe I need to start paying more attention to that, because maybe I'll do even better. You know what I mean? Because it shows you, doesn't it? They both had the same potential, 200 maximum potential. That's better than Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. And you saw one who was professional, became amazing, and one who was an arsehole. Still a good career, but it was still a little bit average. It didn't fulfill its potential. 58 red cards. Insane. Now I will say, a lot of you put in the comments, do this, do that, try this out, try that. I've got a long list here on my pad of ideas. The next one is going to be a manager experiment, and I'm properly looking forward to that, because that's something I'm really interested about, different managers. And I've got a load of ideas coming out. So trust me, the list is long, and if you're into this thing, there's going to be many more coming out over the next few weeks. I've still got my Journeyman, go and check that out. Denton Villa, the best series on YouTube, go and check that out. I've got a long list of other videos I made a long time ago. Go check them out. But anyway, thanks for watching. You've been absolutely amazing. I've been Bood, and I'll see you next time.